Hey guys, Nick here. Today we're going to be going over some ways to make money by owning a home. When most people think about owning a house, they think about paying on a mortgage rather than paying rent. That's great and all, but there are way more benefits to owning a house than just bragging rights. Today we're going to be going over 5 ways in which owning a house can be beneficial to you. Method number 1 is flipping property. This is one of the most common ways people make money in real estate. You buy a place, you work on it for a bit, and you sell it for far more than you bought it for. But let's break it down a little bit more so you can understand what's going on. Your labor is one of the primary ways you can contribute to the market in exchange for money. Ideally, the value you create with your labor is the value you can earn back, but in the form of dollars. And what most people use to trade their labor for dollars is what's called a job. But a job isn't the only way to do this. By owning a home and putting some work into it, you can turn around and sell the house for way more than what you bought it for. Sometimes a tiny bit of work can go a really long way, which is what makes flipping houses so popular in America today. Over the last couple years, a significant amount of houses sold were flipped. In 2022, almost 1 in 10 houses sold were flipped. This came out to be a total of 407,000 houses in that year, and people averaged around 25% ROI on each of these flips. The point is, you can make a lot of money flipping houses. Method number 2, short-term rentals. This is when people can book your house for a couple days and then leave without signing a lease. Think of Airbnb or Vrbo. Short-term rentals have been on the rise lately, and in 2021, it was reported that there were well over 1 million short-term rentals, and I'm sure that number will be going up. The market for short-term rentals in the US raked in just under $20 billion last year. But before you get too excited, there's some fees to be looking out for. Depending on how you have things set up, you'll likely only make 85% of what people pay to stay in your house. This is on top of the hassle of having a lot of people in and out of the house, keeping everything clean, and so on. But for a lot of people, that's a small price to pay. Method number 3, long-term rentals. This next method is perhaps the most common one, just simply setting your house up as a rental property. In the majority of markets today, buying is more affordable than renting, but still over a third of US households are renting rather than buying. Renting out your property is a phenomenal way to off your mortgage and make a little extra money while doing it. It will also likely be less hassle than short-term rentals because tenants generally stay in the rentals for way longer than a week, so they tend to take better care of your property. Long-term rentals have been around for a long time and they aren't going anywhere soon, so this may be a great option for you. Method number 4, HELOC. Alright, let's say that you want to keep your house and you want to live in your house. Well, that's where this 4th method comes in. The home equity line of credit, also called a HELOC, is kind of like a credit card, but rather than borrowing money from the bank, you borrow money against the value of your house. Let's say you bought your house for $120,000 a couple years ago, but you've built it up, put some good equity in the house, and the house value went up. Now you have $60,000 in equity on your house. A HELOC allows you to borrow from the equity and spend that money any way you want. Here are some really big caveats to this. First of all, HELOC isn't giving you new money. It's simply giving you a different way to borrow money. This is really important because any money that you borrow, you will have to pay interest on and you'll eventually have to pay it all back. A HELOC should only be used if you are certain you can quickly make that money back with whatever you're investing it in. The second big caveat, HELOC can go south really fast if you can't pay on them. Home equity line of credits can be a phenomenal way to liquidate wealth you already have for another great investment opportunity, but they can also be risky. So be cautious if this is the method you choose to use. Method number 5, appreciating value. Alright, if none of the previous methods sound good to you, luckily there is still one way to gain wealth with your house. That is to simply do nothing. And that sounds crazy, right? But here's the thing. The value of your house goes up every year due to appreciation. So even if you aren't renting your house or borrowing money, your net worth is still going to grow just by owning your house. This is one of many reasons so many investors love real estate so much, and it's also why so many people prefer buying over renting. If you don't own a house or property yet, and you would like to, I'd love to help you find one. Just reach out and give me a call.